Yo, what's good? Yo, what's good? Happy hump day. Oh yeah, it's another glorious hump day. Well, you know what? Let's get it started. How about we say that? Let's get the music going. Waffles are soon. Soon, I promise. Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Wake up in the days, middle of the week. Waffles on my plate, that's what I seek. Mike, it's hump day now. Gotta get through, don't ask me how. Hump day waffles, sweet and gold. Got that syrup, never gets old. Mike, hear me shout. Hump day waffles, no doubt. Stack so high, butter melts. Feels so good, you know the deal. Push on through, halfway done. Waffles here, let's have some fun. Hump day waffles, sweet and gold. Got that syrup, never gets old. Mike, hear me shout. Hump day waffles, no doubt. Stack so high, butter melts. Feels so good, you know the deal. Push on through, halfway done. Waffles here, let's have some fun. Hump day waffles, sweet and gold. Got that syrup, never gets old. Mike, hear me shout. Hump day waffles, no doubt.
All right, Wafflers. It's about that time. Are you ready? Are you ready? Waffle time is starting.
Are we waffling? Does Chippy have prosthetics? Monster.
That's right.
Let's go!
Let's go.
Big hump, big bite, name Mike, sun bright, sand in my kicks, but I walk so light. Got a crate full of better and my grill on high. Every Wednesday morning they line outside. They don't come for the coffee, they come for the ride. I'm the camel with the lettuce and the syrup on the side. It's hump day. Waffle up if you got the stuff. Waffle up. Mike and the dudes turn breakfast to a sport that's tough. We ain't got no pancakes here, just square soaking up that love. It's hump day. Waffle up if you got the stuff. Hey. I play shows in the shade logo on the stage, Thermaltake lights up, whole crowd in the blaze, fans chant Mike K. Every time that I raise another gold, waffle to the sky like praise. Got crumbs in my beer, syrup drip on my chain. Got a lot of cool camels trying to get in my lane. I just laugh, flip better, let them taste the flame. If you roll with the herd, better know the name.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Waffle up if you got the stuff. Waffle up. Mike and the dudes turn breakfast to a sport that's tough. We ain't got no pancakes here, just square soaking up that love. It's hump day. Waffle up if you got the stuff. Left hump, right hump, throw your hands up. If you're riding midweek and you never tap out, never. If your team waffle, let me hear you shout. Waffle up, that's what we about. It's hump day. Waffle up if you got the stuff. Waffle up. Mike and the dudes turn breakfast to a sport that's tough. We ain't got no pancakes here, just square soaking up that love. It's hump day. Waffle up if you got the stuff. Yeah.
All right. Let's go, Wafflers.
Yeah.
Middle of the week, yeah, we slowing down. Mike, shout it all around.
What up, Wafflers? How's everybody? How is everybody doing? It's a glorious Wednesday. Signing on here for all your hump day relaxation time, right? We're breaking up the week here. Love the song. Thank you much. New song each week, dude. I need to do some more, but we've been building them up, man. I hope you like them. I mean, it's just some fun stuff, you know? kind of break up your waffling while you wait. You know what I mean? Oh man, let's go. Oh!
Guess what day it is?
3/7?
Anybody? Julie.
Julie.
Guess what day it is?
Julie.
Oh, come on, I know you can hear
come
me.
on.
Mike.
Come
Here's the
on.
mic.
McQuilshire Baggins just resubbed for 37 months. Time to eat 37 waffles.
Let's go, baby. Get those waffles. Thank you, McWillshire Baggins, for the 37, man. Appreciate it, dude. Appreciate it, man. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. Get in on those waffles, you guys. Exclamation mark waffle for your chance to be crowned the weekly waffle winner. Should have a weekly waffle winner crown or something like that. It'd be cool if I could put something on the chat for people that win waffles and, like, you know, do like one. I wonder how much those little badge things cost. You know what I mean? Make like a golden waffle. Like, I've won a waffle, I get a badge. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. I should look into that. Whoa, Rob! Pancakes! Pancakes!
Rob_@a_mouthful just resubbed for 58 months. After last week, this is the tastiest waffle. You know what I mean?
Let's go, Rob. Appreciate the tier 2 for 58 months, my man. Hanging in there, let's go. The tastiest of waffles, my friend. You are in the right place. You are in the right place. Quicksta coming in with the 30 stream streak. Holy Quicksta. Dude, thanks, bro. That's a lot. Thanks, man. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. We got a season wafflers. Season waffling. Let's go. All right. All right, let's see. Everything's rocking and rolling. YouTube's going okay? I'm not seeing the YouTube thingy for the waffles. Hold on. Wait. Okay. I don't know. It turned off. I turned it on. Is it gonna catch up? Hold on. Why did it turn itself off? What the? Oh, it's Wednesday. Okay. I think it's back on. I think it's good. Scissorman, let me check. Let me see. I mean, it should show that you have the sub, you know what I mean? But I think, okay, wait. I think it's working out. For some reason, it like turned it off. What the hell? What the hell? All right, it's back on now. If you didn't get the confirmation for the waffle, I apologize. Please redo. Please re-waffle. Please re-waffle. There's no shame. All we want to do is give waffle. There. Okay. All right. I don't know why YouTube, but it was YouTube. Twitch seemed to be okay, but YouTube. Streaming, baby. All right, I think it's catching up. I think I don't know. I'm just making sure everything's good before I start because it's hard to go back. You know what I'm saying? Wednesday. All right. I think we're good. Da. We're here. Pride. Do. All right. I think waffles are working. Somebody unplugged the waffle maker, I think. But I think they plugged it back in. Like the internet. Right? They had, you know how they fixed the internet? They just unplugged it and plugged it back in. South Park taught us that, right? That was a good episode. That was probably the cleanest part of that episode. Oh man, it's Wednesday. What up, everybody? How is everybody doing? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us for another wonderful Waffle Wednesday. We got our TR2 micro shashasi ready to finish that guy up today. We should be able to finish that up today. My breakfast is born. Hey, hey, hey. Waffle Wednesday. Oh, yeah, it's a good Wednesday. Let's go. Yeah, we got the TR2 up. And sorry, I also had a couple other things, too. I'm throwing in the box. Throwing in the box there. Oh, man, that's a lot of cubage right there. A lot of cubage. Dude, we got a good amount of software updates coming. A lot of particular updates for screen stuff and everything. I'm trying to figure out, because we have a big update coming. And, you know, it's like one of those, the number changed from like 1 to 2 kind of things. You know how it goes with game patch notes and stuff, right? So trying to find what the next big one, and I believe we should be covering that soon on the stream. Gonna have to set something up for that. So give me a little bit of time, but planning to do a little breakdown of like a good amount of stuff. Focused a lot on Mindcube, but also RGB 3.0. I got a lot of updates for both actually, and I've been meaning to get some stream time slotted for this, so we'll get that going. Scissor only got 1 ticket, but he's a sub. Let me see.
Uh-oh. Guess what?
I see that.
Guess what day
I
it is?
see that.
Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is?
The best
Oh,
of
come on, I know
my
you can hear
knowledge,
me.
let me check the settings.
What day is it, Mike?
Let's check the settings here. I'm pretty sure,
Big Radio just resubbed for 1 month.
like, I can't even tell you the last time I changed this, if that makes sense. I also don't think I can check right now because we are currently live with the giveaway. I do see Scissorman in here for 1. I do not see, well, okay, hold on. Because it did the weird thing, I don't know why he didn't get 2. But I'm looking, because, all right, so I'm seeing 2s with other people on Twitch. You know, YouTube, of course, is 1, but I am seeing other Twitch 2. I don't know. I don't know what I can do. I don't know what I can do there, Scissorman. I don't know what I can do. I can't, like, remove you to add you again? But I do appreciate you giving that sub to Pig, though, man. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. Pig, you know what to do. You already did it. Am I naughty, Mike? Dude, I don't know. Like, I'm like, what happened, right? Like, the only, I mean, is if Twitch is saying you're a sub and I don't know what you can do, because, like, I mean, what can I fix? I can't fix it. I have no way to fix it, man. I wish it's like, I wish I could just throw you into the, you know, add another one, right? But it's like, you know, I don't want that option because I don't want people to know that, like, that option exists, right? Like, I don't want people to know that I could go in and just fandangle and get my fingers in there. I mean, it's the most legit giveaway setup I've seen, if that makes sense, you know? But I don't know what to say, my friend. I don't know what to say. All right, we'll just have to go forward, man. I'll see what I can do. Maybe you'll win with 1. You never know. That would be even crazier, right? That would be even crazier. All right. So, yeah, continuing from last week, we got our TR2 micro chassis. Now, this is a micro ATX form factor case. So you got to have a micro ATX motherboard. I mean, yeah, you could put mini ITX in here. I mean, to be fair, it doesn't have windows. You get nice perforated panels with some good airflow and ventilation. So, you know, no harm to the wiser. It's not like you're going to really necessarily know too much. But either way, to keep it small but big, I think that's where I've been kind of going a lot with this. I mean, the case offers a good amount of room for a lot of stuff. 360 AIO support only unless you want to do the optical drive and get that, you know, physical media stitch. If you do that, then your takeaway is a 240. So that was like one of the bigger changes. The other thing too was like the power supply is mounted in the front, and a lot about what we talked about last week was like, so with the power supply mounted in the front, does that really affect the graphics card length? Well, in certain cases, absolutely. I think with the TR2, we did a solid. I mean, it supports up to 365, I believe, as far as GPU length. And I mean, it goes in, it's a micro ATX board, so you got 5 slots. So thickness necessarily isn't a big issue. Granted, have you seen those gigantic 5090 and 5080 cards? I mean, I thought the 4090s were big until I saw the thickness. Those things are like 4 slots thick, right? I think it would still possibly fit in here, but you may or may not have the option to put the fans on the bottom, right? So take that into consideration with that. We do list, you know, all the measurements and stuff like that as far as like, yeah, GPU 365, CPU cooler 175 for the, you know, the height, the coming off the, you know, CPU and all that fun stuff. And then, you know, a power supply too. And I think that most people aren't going to be putting a gigantic power supply to the point of where you would, you know, like a 1650 watt. I mean, I would think the only real main issue with this would be like the cable's got to wrap on the bottom and then kind of route way, so that that little gap that you have for your cables, it would be kind of a little tight depending on, you know, what you got. I mean, yeah, you have power supply mounting options for top or bottom, you know, gives you a little bit more clearance as far as what you want, but we'll be breaking that down as we got our power supply mounted in the system last week, but we still got to plug all the cables in, route all the fun stuff. So we'll be diving in more on that today. Small form factor, exactly, right? Well, I mean, it's not TR100 SFF. It's not a small form factor case, right? It's above what is it, 20 liters or whatever is like SFF like limitations per se. And it's kind of interesting. People are very picky about that. You know, I think the TR like 100's like 19.5 or something, so it's close. It's very close, but that of course is a mini ITX system, you know, but it's still a fun little box, man. I really like the TR100. It really does capture small with a lot inside. I mean, we did a build, what was it? I think it was like last February, not this year, but last year. We had Jacob from NVIDIA come out. We threw a 5090 Founders card in there, so I mean, there's plenty of room. But that one has a riser cable. That's how it makes that happen, right? With this case right here, you don't need a riser cable. There's no riser cable option to this because, you know, vertically mounting your GPU really more or less doesn't matter because the case itself does have, you know, a perforated side panel, which I've gotten a lot of feedback from people saying that they like that. They want a perforated panel for this. They don't want like a fish tank. And I can see why, you know what I mean? Like, this case gives a lot of different options for a small footprint for just a good solid desktop PC. You got the little wood grain action, give you a little warmth there, and you know, as far as the style and everything, of course. But wood aside, I mean, you know, it fits a pretty large card. It's micro ATX, and it can kind of as a purpose for a lot of things. I mean, I've been thinking, you know, as we've been going through marketing stuff and everything, as this product's coming out, just thinking about like, you know, it's a great little desktop PC. I think people that don't necessarily want like a gigantic case and they want something simple and, you know, it's just going to do what it wants it to do, right? Like, I get that. And then, you know, you got media center stuff. Like, this thing fits a living room. I wouldn't say that with some of the other cases. You know, they're more just like, dude, that's just a desktop PC by your TV, right? Like, I feel this would fit well for like media PC stuff and or just like garage stuff. I mean, me myself, I like to be out in the garage a good bit. Simple yet easy garage PC, if it's TR200 or 100 or whatever, you know, it's a nice little small box that you can just hook up to a TV, you know, and get like all the YouTube and all the other stuff going on while you're wrenching away and working, you know, with whatever you got to do, you know, kids projects, your projects, honeydew list stuff, you got all that fun stuff, right? So I think that the case does give a lot of options for its size. It's not super small to the point where you're like, there's no freaking airflow in the thing. But then at the same time, it's not like this big glorious fish tank, right? I think that's a pretty good strength there with the case. You also have some fun options for either putting the screen on or just going with an old school optical drive, right? Blu-ray drive, you know, slap a movie in there, dust off that physical media that you probably haven't touched in years. And, you know, slap a disc in and play it. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy talk almost for like talking about PC systems in 2026. But I can see where some people like myself as a gamer dad, I mean, you know, those are some actual cool things. I have huge amounts of shelves of Blu-rays, huge. And no, I haven't touched them in a long time. You know what I mean? It's just, but I still got them. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of cool stuff.
Guess what day it
Kenneth
is?
coming in.
Huh?
Kenneth
Everybody?
coming in.
Julie,
Appreciate the
guess what day it
29.
is? Oh, come on. I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Kenneth 32374
Let's
just
go!
for sub for 29 months.
Thank you,
Robeat,
Kenneth.
Let's go, Robeat. Let's go, Robeat. Let's go, Therma 20 waffles. Therma 20 waffles.
Oh,
Therma
yeah.
20 waffles. Therma 20 waffles. Therma 20 waffles.
Get them waffles, baby. Good luck. Let's see, did I miss anything else? I think you guys are just waffling here. Yeah, I mean, I think it fits a lot of things people are looking for. I don't necessarily, I think the fish tank stuff, I'm not going to say the fish tank idea is burning out, but it's older now. But we just be honest, it's just, you know, it's like a console. It's been out for a while, except for the Switch 2, but like, you know what I mean? It's been out for a minute. So well, what's next, right? There's always something next. You know, and it's like companies like us, they got to figure out how to make a box different. You know what I mean? And then, of course, you know, with this, you get a lot of good filtration, storageation, and all that fun stuff. And then the cool little optical drive option there, too. I wish the case was a little bit taller. Just wish the case was a little bit taller. And then I could do both the optical and the 360. I've been thinking 2 short songs about this case a lot. I'll probably have to play that later on in the stream because it's going to be in the back of my head. But one thing I do like is that you got the front mounted AIO. For a case like this, if that thing was on the top, I'd be like, nah, it's got to be on the front. Makes more sense on the front. You know, especially for like the applications that you would think you would want to use it for, right? Like I think about a lot of that. You know what I mean? I use both, but I like the idea of having it and not having a service to be able to pull out whenever I like. Like, right? Like, what if the internet just goes down one day? Like the classic, well, I guess it's not necessarily a classic movie, but if you remember the Will Smith movie with the poor dog, probably the hardest thing for me about watching this movie, you know? But it reminds me of that. Like, what if the internet just went down? I have got so many Blu-rays that I could watch. And I know a lot of you guys out there are like, you know, I got Plex server stuff. And, you know, a lot of that stuff I think needs internet, but not really. But yeah, I Am Legend was like, I mean, perfect example right there of why a lot of us still are keeping some physical media records. You never know. You never know. Plus, what are you going to do? Throw it away or sell it? I mean, really? Those Blu-rays were expensive back in the day, remember? Remember before streaming got like all crazy and everything? They were like $30, $40. And then if you wanted the 4K one or you wanted the, they were doing some other stuff. Like it included another disc. Oh, it was like you would get 2 versions of the movie, right? Like they did some weird stuff, man. Trying to see how far they could stretch the dollar out of our wallets, right? Ay, 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 man. Ay, ay, ay. But yeah, a lot of good clearance with this bad boy. I mean, again, like you could do a 360 on top. If you go with the optical drive, it does cut that down to like a 240 or 140 for, why does the 140 look so big? Whatever. You get what I'm saying. You could do still who would put a single AIO, but still, we have to list it, right? Like, to be honest, we have to list it or somebody's going to ask, well, I can't put a 120 or 140. And then I look at this and I go, oh God, they don't put 120 or 140. And then people will think it only supports 140. And I'm like, dude, if it supports 360, it supports 120, man. You're good. But I get it. People don't live, eat, and breathe Thermaltake 24/7 like I do. Or just PC stuff in general, right? But good amount of room for the GPU. We did kind of look a little bit, and we'll look more today. That, you know, even with a pretty large card, because I think I have, a Zotac like 4090 over here. There's still a good amount of wiggle room, about this much wiggle room with the card, because I think it's probably about the same length, so it's probably pretty scalable on that right there with the PSU mount. But I do like a lot of the other features with the case where, you know, just how it breaks down, how easy the panels are to remove, including the bottom and the top. I mean, you can open it up pretty good. Like, oh, there's really nothing else I would think that you would ask for. I don't think a removable motherboard tray would have been a benefit to add that in for the cost. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing breaks down to basically the 4 corners and 1 wall for structure, right? Got to have some structure with it, right? But yeah, AIO compatibility is all listed here, as well as fan support. Supports up to 7 fans, 3 on the bottom, 3 on the top if you go with a 360 AIO, and of course the single one in the back. Oh, and I got some of those new fans too. It's gonna make the build a lot easier, but they're still on the way. So got some new stuff we're throwing in here too. We also have the new LB360. So this is a new I would say, you know, budget-friendly AIO cooler. It's coming in at 90 bucks for a 360. It doesn't have like a true screen, like a screen. It's got like a little static screen. It gives you some readings like GPU, CPU, temp. So you at least get a little bit of something for 90 bucks. And then of course it has that cool 3-in-1 fan, single frame fan, little setup here on this, making the build pretty streamlined. So we'll have to see how easy that is to throw in. Oh, and the other thing too, I noticed, I mean, granted, we are on an Intel system here today, but we updated the bracket for AMD. So it actually has a different bracket for AMD, not using the little pinch clips. And I think that's kind of cool too, because I do favor the Intel mounting over just about everything else. I mean, I guess I just done a lot of Intel. I mean, it's not like AMD's bad, you know what I mean? But like, that little clip where you have to hook the little thing, I can definitely understand how other people can have some challenges with it. I mean, I myself, I've had to shoot videos showing how easy it goes in, right? And I think I achieve it pretty well. Granted, I get the little movie magic of clicking record and stop and record and stop till I get it right and make it look like I did it right the first time. You know what I mean? So there's always those kind of things, but you know, it's still, you got to do it. You still got to do it. If it was easy, everybody would do it, right? But yeah, we got the new AIO. This one's got a little bit of wood grain action on it. Kind of complements in a way a little bit with the cases in regards to you know, which TR2 version you're going to go in. I mean, we offer it in 2 different colors with 2 different wood finishes on it. So, you know, we got a couple of things there going on. Definitely looks like that we're getting into some wood stuff, not just with cooling and cases, but with fan, you know, well, I guess fans is cooling, but you know what I mean? Like a couple of different products with some wood on it, not just the cases. And that was one thing I was curious about until we, you know, of course, came out with the fans and everything like that that have, you know, the nice little wood grain on it. We also got some new fans coming. Some of the newer products that have shown up on our website, thermaltakeusa.com. We have the new swap fan Infinities. Now these are ARGB, so it's a non-controller fan. It has dual infinity mirrors, both in the hub and on the frame. You know, some extra little light stuff around, but it's the new swap fan. So changes the look a good bit, but still maintains the swappability feature. So you will get replaceable or swappable blades with this for doing standard or reverse with the swap fan. That's why the name swap fan still carries on, even though it looks, you know, a little bit different than what we're used to. I mean, it does give more of a CT vibe, I would say. I mean, you look at like the Tough fan, you look at the CT fans, and I mean, it adds a little bit more to it. I mean, I'm not too big on the Infinity stuff, but whatever. You know what I mean? It's your choice. I mean, it's only fans, right? Only fans. I mean, there's a lot of fans. Be a fan. I'm a fan. You know, you want a matcha fan or another fan. There's a lot of stuff here to choose from. So, a lot of stuff going on with that. Would you look at that? That was a good one. I like that box. Would you look at that? I should have saved that for when I brought the AIO up. I totally failed. Totally failed. But I'm making sure the waffling is working. I'm making sure waffling is working. Yeah, okay. Big dude, you guys are hungry, man. Oh my goodness. Look at all you guys in here. Waffling away. Waffling away. All right. Oh, and Box, by the way, coming in with a 52 months. I'm so sorry I missed that. I was lost in train of thought and all that fun stuff. Love you, Boxy. Thanks, dog. Arborist term. You failed. You failed. Hey, if a tree falls in the woods, can you hear it? Yeah, wrap your Wednesday around that one, huh? Wrap your Wednesday around that one, huh? All right, let's stop screwing around and get into this. Oh, welcome. Oh, I didn't get a chance to read the manual, so I got to read the manual. You cannot, but it does make noise. Duh. It's like I can hear you say that. It's really funny. It's really funny. Don't you have somebody to go save or something like that? Oh, no, stay here. I need you here in case we need to ban several people. Save me, protect me, old master. Okay, So a pretty straightforward installation guide. We include a nice little guide here giving you a breakdown for both.
Hey Mike, is there any plans for a new case to bring back the disk drive? I am old school, so I love my disk drive.
You know, you've come to the right place, because if there were any plans for a new case, I would say this may be the one. Oh my God, where did my optical drive go? Oh, did I leave my optical drive in the other? Oh no. But I was gonna say, just imagine an optical drive and imagine it slotting into this case right here and putting a cool little optical drive in there. And then we even have the little bracket right there for the optical drive. Imagine that. And then we have this in a couple of different colors. But you know what? I would say ever since we started talking about a case with optical drives, I've had a lot of feedback on that. Like, more and more people have come and told me, hey, you guys are doing optical drives? That's really cool. Like, not like, why would you bring back a dinosaur thing like that in 2026, right? Like, I've had nothing but positive feedback in regards to that. Does it support ATX? This one is a micro. So this one is a micro ATX. And I know you're going to hate me, and I hate myself for this too, because I don't want to say it. But the TR200 is the next size up. That's ATX. But sadly, no optical drive support. I'm sorry. Wasn't me. If I could have put something in the hat for the 300, optical drive would have been 100% on the list for me. So I apologize for that. If you, voice your opinions, give feedback and everything like that, because I agree. I would say I would like to have that in like the travel, I guess it's a travel case, but whatever, you call it whatever you want to call it, right? Like if it's a media PC, either way, like I want a fun little box for a fun little space, and I want it to have this, this, and this, right? You know, you got three things that you could pick, right? Like I could see some people where optical drive could be one of the three, because everything else is whatever. You know what I mean? They're not too picky, and I can understand that. I like owning my media too. I wish there was more ways to own more of my media. You know, I have a 16 terabyte drive that I have every single live stream on. You know what I mean? I mean, every single live stream I've ever done here on that freaking drive. If that drive fails, well, I have it backed up at home. You know what I mean? Like I want to be able to look back on this down the road. You know what I mean? When I'm old and gray, show the grandkids and everything what, oh, hey, look, there's Grandpa Mike, you know, doing his thermal thing. Ha ha ha. Oh. But I think that's we share a similar feedback, right? These are things definitely, if I had a chance to throw in, that would have been definitely one of them. But I do think the 200 fits the space well for what you're probably looking for with that. I mean, it's just the micro ATX form factor, right? I mean, it is what it is with that. But I will say, at least for that sake, because mini ITX is usually a little bit more expensive and definitely a little more limiting. You know what I mean? Micro's not too bad. I've seen a good amount of micro boards out in the market. You know what I mean? So, you know, those kind of things are kind of things. I mean, one thing to mention though too is like with the case with to get the Waffle thing out of the way, but it doesn't support the backwards motherboards though. So keep that in mind too for this case, because there are some Project Zero and BTF micro ATX boards. A lot of our cases have supported backwards connectivity for just about every case that we've launched since that thing happened or whatever, right? So that's another thing too. But hey, that's why we do the live stream show, so we can explain these. I love the questions. Ask more. You know what I mean? Like I'm here to be your little connection, your bridge into the realm of thermal land, where we sit down and do meetings all the time, talk about all this stuff a lot. You know what I mean? I like to give your guys' feedback too, you know, because people be like, oh yeah, this guy on Discord, oh yeah, the live stream. You know, I use you guys, I guess, a good bit, because it's not just me, right? Like if I say it, it's one thing, but if you guys say it, magic, my friends. It's magic. It's just how it is, man. It's just how business goes with that stuff. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right. All right. So yeah, but other than that, I got a lot of cool stuff we got to plug in. Oh. Wrong bag. Kind of jump back. Well, you know, I don't want to go too far back, but we do have some actual building to do today. Couple of things we actually have to do, but man, I'm really digging these all white cables right here. Oh, cool. It's even got one of those little bags in there to keep it fresh. It's important. It's important. Keep it fresh. You know what I mean? We are saying 200 mil fans. We could be. We could be. I love your guys' ambitions for 200 mil fans. I feel so bad that it's not like a huge deal, because it would be so much more fun to pick on you guys. Not pick on you guys, but celebrate with you about 2 gigantic fans in the front of the case. You know what I mean? I'm waiting for the next case to come like that, and that'll be all that we'll talk about. But I will say, one of my highlights from all the streams that I've done, one of the fun streams I think I enjoyed a lot was when we did the radiator stuff, where, you know, we tried different size radiators, and I found one of the early ones that we did, like when we first started doing DIY cooling, right? And it was a 360S, but that 360S supported 280 mounts, or basically 200 millimeter fans. And it was really interesting to have that big fat boy rad with 200 fans on it. And like, that was a very rare, weird type of product, you know what I mean? But it was fun to use that. We did 120 or 360. We did 420 for the triple 140s. But then I thought it was just fun to put like a dual 200 mil or a dual 180, because I guess that's kind of just how it's talked about, right? But that was a fun stream, you know what I mean? We've debunked push and pull, like it's just aesthetically pleasing. You know what I mean? Like, there's been a lot of fun that we've done over the years, right? And a lot of these things, like some of these ones where it's not just about building, hey, new product, woo, you know, like getting to do some different stuff, like what we do around Halloween and just some other stuff. It's a lot of fun to do some different things. I got some new ideas that I am cooking up, but programming wise, it probably won't come in until after we get back from Taiwan for Computex, which is end of May and June. So soonish, but I'm working on some other fun things. Don't run with scissors, kids. Don't run with scissors. It's like a chip bag. You just want to cut just enough so that you can get the chips out. No, I'm just kidding. We're just gonna cut the whole thing. Yeah, we're just gonna do this. Oh, cables. Because we don't need the bag. We don't need this bag anymore. You know what I mean? I have a cool little bag that I put back in the box, which I don't know where the box is gone. Where'd the box? What did I do with the box? Okay, so a gremlin stole the box, so there's that. That's fine. That's fine. We don't need the box right now, anyways. I just wanted to say box a bunch of times so I could get. Yeah. You know what I mean? A little box action in there. Waffles on you. Okay, yeah, Waffles on YouTube still going. Gimp, thank you for the hydrate. Appreciate you. Misdirection. No. Oh, look, this has got an actual Ziploc. Cool. Dude, this is a chunky cable. What the chunker? It's only an 850. It's only an 850 and it's got the big boy. Ooh, okay. Well, I mean, you know, those Gen 5 connections and everything. I mean, am I right? Well, this is internet. Everything's in a bag. It's so funny how stuff changes, like, you know, product to product, you know, like Normally I don't see these in like a little bag like this. They're just by themselves. Do they need to be in a bag? No, they don't need to be in a bag, but they're in a bag. So that's cool, whatever, they're in a bag. My zip ties in a bag is actually kind of cool, but then, you know what I mean? Cause like, it's just zip ties. You know what I'm saying? Like just, or tweezers, I've heard people call these tweezers too, but you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But like, dude, check out, I mean, we got a lot of parts here. Got a lot of parts here. But dude, look at these cables. Look at these cables. I love just all white cable, all white connector. I mean, just clean AF cables right here. You know, it's like, I mean, I guess like sleeve cable stuff is popular, but like, I feel that when backward boards were invented, like sleeve cabling just took like a little bit of a dip, a pretty big dip maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's just the economy and it's like, oh, do I have that extra cash for the sleeve cables? And you're just like, you know, the ones on the power supply are fine. I mean, you know, a lot of times those guys will do, you know, either extensions on the cheap because those aren't as costly, you know, versus is actually doing, you know, straight pin to pin, unit to unit kind of stuff. Cause those are custom cables. And I know we send our power supplies out to a good amount for them to, you know, take a look at stuff. But I mean, yeah, it's just, I don't see too many. Well, I guess I just don't see a lot of builds nowadays. You know what I mean? A lot of that stuff. I mean, it's expensive, man. It's expensive, man. All right, so we can just kind of get this a little situated. It crosses over where I don't like this at all. So there's some feedback there from me, but it'll work. I think we'll be good. Of course, split side makes it easy. Going to power, this of course going to motherboard. We're not going to need PCIEs. Of course, we're going to need a good old EPSs. Yeah, we'll throw a SATA in there for funsies. Let's see. Oh yeah, we got oh, this is kind of cool too, because I don't know, like a lot of times with white power supplies, we've done white cables, but with like, you know, even like with Molex, right? Like look at these, dude. These are probably the cleanest Molex cables, you know, low key, these are probably the cleanest Molex cables I've seen, and just like all white like this, right? Heat shrinkless, so the wires just plunged into the plastic there. But look, dude, it's probably the cleanest Molex I've seen in a while. I don't know, but I do like the all white cables with this, with the white connectors on it and everything. And then you also got, where to go, you also got the Gen 5, and it's got a little matcha dip there on the tip right there, so that way you can make sure that you got it fully seated in there. I kind of like how we went with the matcha color. I hope this is something we stay with, because this is a cool little color identifier, especially for me, because if I see somebody's power supply that roasted or caught fire, the one thing that I look at is it colored and is it matcha green, because we're the only ones I know that do a weird color like matcha green, right? And then I see the other colors and I go, oh, okay. I honestly haven't seen too many issues, let alone had issues myself, so I've been pretty happy to see that. All right, there's secondary EPS, but we only have one, so we don't really need two. So then I'm gonna look at both of my EPSs and be like, all right, so this is a 4, these are both 4+4s, because sometimes the 8-pin just makes it easier, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it doesn't really matter. But if I'm just gonna do a single 8-pin, because, you know, micro ATX, I'm just gonna, I'll just use the regular 8-pin one, you know what I mean? Works pretty good. So the all PCIe, extra SATA, and those cables. So yeah, we're good. We're good. I know, right? Cyber, it's like there's got to be like, you know, like I've been trying to think like a fun but yet not dirty tagline on saying how to make sure it's fully seated. It's like impossible for me. Like it's kind of impossible. But then again, I haven't been tasked with it yet either. You know what I mean? I will stay professional, of course, at all times. Just not here. This is a live stream. This is Wednesday. Got to break up everybody's week, including my own. You know what I mean? I am very busy, man. No, we've had a lot of stuff going on. I mean, dude, Computex is heating up like crazy. I've been getting a lot of stuff from media as far as like what they're doing. I don't know anybody else that talks about this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be kind of cool to hear what, like, you know, other manufacturers got going on. But, you know, in the wonderful world of Computex, You know, we got to have some peeps come out, see some new stuff. You know, of course, I got to fly to the other side of the freaking planet. You know what I mean? But it's a fun trip. It's a long trip, though. You know what I mean? For the fam and everything. But I do enjoy getting to see certain friends that I can only see there. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot that come there from a lot of other countries because, you know, it's on the other side of the planet. So it's always usually a lot of fun. And then, you know, hanging out and doing all the work stuff. You know, getting to talk to all the cool media peoples, have them stop by, give them that ThermalMike smile. Oh yeah, today is also that evil day. I mean, it's hump day, so I didn't really want to, but how dare they make hump day tax day, right? Hope you guys got your taxes done. Or you're working on them right now while watching the stream. That's good. Just remember, if you're doing your taxes right now and it's waffle time, you need to pause H&R Block for a minute so that you can just don't miss your waffle while doing your taxes, because that would be the worst thing ever, is that I'm sorry I missed getting something for free. I was too busy giving the government money. Let's not let that happen, okay, guys? Currently filing extension. That's fine. That'll be quick. That'll be quick. I mean, dude, we just literally
Speaking
got
of
ours
extra
done.
pins, that's what Chippy now has metal pins in one arm and one leg. Poor fella sets off the metal detectors at the airport now. Thanks you monster.
Excuse me, sir. And then they tell him to go into the machine where you got to put your arms up, and he's like this. Is that what you're going to say next? He's got to go in that one machine where he's got to put his arms up, and this is what he looks like? Excuse me, sir. You got to go to the other line. Oh, man. The problem is, you know, if they made like a cool little Chippy mascot outfit, I couldn't wear it because I would love to do that. You know, as hot as, you know, it would be in one of those, I would love to do that. That'd be hilarious, but I'd be too tall for that. I am not a Chippy. I am sorry. I am sorry. I'm built more like an AIO 360 or something. Definitely a 3-fan long type of person. You know what I'm saying? You can judge a man by his fans in his case, both by quantity and size. Okay, so we got the cables more or less situated for what we're going to do with our build. I love fully modular for this because I don't have to plug everything in. Everything's not already plugged in, which, you know, does a nice little solid for when we're doing stream builds like this, where I can just more or less mock the power supply up and give like a general idea and talk more about the mounting as far as how the power supply goes on. Now, with this particular case, you have to understand too that there's no fans that go in the front. This case does not have fans in the front. It has a power supply in the front. And with the power supply in the front, I've opted to have the fan mounted forward, where the fan is then on the front part of this case, and then the airflow is going up and then more or less out for any heat exchange from the power supply itself, versus having my intake of my power fan literally right here, sucking the heat off of my GPU and then going up and in more or less to my AIO. So, you know, like planning these things is important. You know what I mean? Like, don't do it to yourself, you know, to put the fan the other way. You know what I mean? Like, but you have that option. It's your fan your way. You know what I mean? But like, it's your heat your way. You know what I'm saying? But I don't feel that this case necessarily needs front fans because of the top to bottom cooling. You get 3 fans along the bottom as well as across the top. And then you get that nice simple single fan here in the back. So it does still support 7 fans, which really is an upgrade from like the TR100. Granted, the TR100 is half the size. I can literally almost fit the TR100 inside of here. You know what I mean? So it's a lot smaller, right? It's a SFF case. But with this one here, you do get that little bit of extra airflow. And the fact that the case is a little bit bigger makes the airflow not as crazy, right? Like small like SFF cases, dude, airflow is super important because there's really not too many options. Like the TR100 has 2 fans, right? You get 2 fans, and that's usually your heat exchange off of the AIO, right? So a lot of those things can be more critical on a small form factor. You get a little bit more wiggle room, your airflow and everything becomes a lot easier to maintain, less RPMs kind of stuff, you know what I mean? And the larger the case gets, the easier it gets, right? Until you kind of start getting like, I guess, too big, where it's kind of like, you know, when you go camping and, you know, if you go camping and you're by yourself, you don't get a giant 6 to 8 person tent just for you. You will sit there and freeze. It makes perfect PC terminology right there, right? Like if you can't understand that, like versus like I mean TR100's like the backpacking tent of cases, right? It's just one person. You know what I mean? Just you. Backpacking tent, light, efficient, does the job. That's it. Small as possible. That's what you're looking for, right? This is kind of like a 2-3 man, probably like a 2-man tent, right? You're not going to freeze, but at the same time, you got a little bit of room with it, right? I never thought I would compare tents to a case, but I just did that. So it's Wednesday. You know what I mean? It's Wednesday. Mr. Blue coming in with a 15 stream streak a couple minutes ago. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. And GP Stuntman coming in with the 3 streamer streak. Turkey, my friend. Congratulations. I mean, thank you. Congratulations. So, yeah, let's get back into what we started with last week, and let's get this bad boy built. So, optical drive option. This is an optional.
That comparison was intense.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. Optical drive front panel. This is optional. This does not come on the case by default. By default, you'll get just the standard dude right here. And then, of course, this does have a little plastic insert that's going to come in there. You're not going to get the case with a hole saying, hey, if you don't buy the screen, you're going to get a hole. We didn't do that to you. You know what I mean? So you get this with the little insert. Of course, you can remove said insert if you would like to opt to slap in the 6-inch screen. Some of the other things that I've been hearing to, excuse me, some of the other things that I was waiting for that. I did that for you guys. The other things we're looking at bundling, like it's like a little deal to kind of help save a little bit. So if you're looking at the TR200, we're looking at options to include the screen with the case at a discounted price. So that's up in the air right now as far as some other options that we could be doing there with the screen. But you know, if the screen's not a big deal, or you're just going to go with just a standard front plate, or if you want to get the optical drive option there, you'll get this out in the box. So it's not something you have to buy extra. It's just a different plate that comes in the accessories, and then you get the little bracket here on the side for the optical drive support. So all that stuff's included. I think it's important to mention because a lot of people, I would agree, I'd feel like, oh, that's extra, or I got to buy it separately, right? So I can understand where a good bit of that comes from. All right. Let me get some build music going here. Let me switch up our little stuff right here. We're waffling still. We got our waffle going on. Our waffle timer is live. We got about 40 minutes left on the waffle. About 40. Let's just gonna. Oh, let's go over here and we'll grab some stuff. Grab some stuff. There we go. A little 311. Oh. Yeah, let's get to building. Let's go. Got to do something today. We got to do something today. All right, now. Okay, all right, so front panel. The front panel's kind of crazy. A lot of people are going to think that there's a little section or cutout on here. I talked about this last week. So with the case, there's nothing there. Okay, the front panel or the lower section of the front panel comes off a little different. There is little clips that are right here on the inside. As I as I demonstrate, I'll push the clip and you can see how the panel's coming off. There's another one here on this side. I kind of push those both off and then those come down, and then there's two more here on the top. So don't try to rip this thing off. There are, and I'm not talking about stealing it either. There are these little tabs, top and bottom. There are 4 of them. You just need to push them in gently and it pops right out. And then of course it snaps right back into place. And I love the fact that this AIO with all the fun little cables is still attached to the box. So that way this makes it a little bit simpler. You're not dealing with the cables stuck there making a decision. Do I just pull the whole thing out or do I just let the thing sit here and dangle from the wires? We've been there. I think a good amount of us, right? But then that gives you the access to open up and see where you can mount your power supply. You have 2 different options to mount the power supply. This right here is in the upper position. You can mount it a little bit lower. Doesn't make a difference for even a graphics card like this one that we have right here. I mean, this bad boy, I mean, we kind of mocked it up last week, and I mean, this right here will probably go in a little bit more, but as you can see, there's still a good amount of clearance. And the concern of the power supply, you know, being in the way lengthwise, where it would like come and it would hit right here, for example, like it was longer, right? You don't necessarily have that too much. I mean, adjusting this up and down really didn't seem to make or break which way the power supply was then going to be mounted. So I'm just opting to go for the top. I mean, you can mount it a little bit lower if you don't want the cables to the spaghetti to spill out too much. You know what I mean? So you do you as far as what you got. I mean, for me, I'm just going to keep it on the upper mounted position, but I am going to take it back out so I can demonstrate how, you know, it all kind of goes in and everything. Plus, I want to kind of plug the cables in without having to plug them in like this, so you guys don't make fun of me going, oh my God, why is he doing this now? He should have done this in the first place. And I agree with you on that. Get my old beat up screwdriver that I've had for 20 plus years because it still works. Oh, and I only put 2 screws in too, so that was the other thing. If you guys remember from last week. I honestly haven't had a chance to touch this, man. I've been so slammed at work. It's been good. It's been good. A lot of post-pack stuff, other things, you know, Computex stuff, heating up already. I mean, we're what? We're halfway through April, more or less. So, yeah, look how convenient that opens everything up. I like how the bracket mounts to the power supply outside the box. I'm not having to slide that in with all the cables plugged in, trying to get that to fit around, you know, this little box. It's just you screw it onto the box, you take the box, put it in another box, and then you secure the box to the box. But we're gonna plug the cables in because that's gonna give me kind of like a more what? Did I control it? Okay, I didn't control delete. That's fantastic. That way I can get a little bit better scope on the cables here. You know what I mean? But yeah, dude, I like the size of this a lot. I kind of want one to replace my cool little garage PC, but it's not like a big deal. You know what I mean? Because like I have just like a little beat up PC. It's like old parts, you know what I mean? Just chilling, you know, garage status and everything like that. And then I have 2 PCs upstairs, but my one's still my P3. I don't know if I'll ever take that out of the P3 because I just love that damn case too much. But it's a great little stream PC for up there, as well as a gaming server PC. So I use it for like a bunch of stuff. So my game room gets a little toasty when I got them both rocking and rolling, you know what I mean? All right, now this is gonna mount like a so.
I have a friend that was all stressed out about these strange dreams he was having about
Strange
camping.
dreams?
Sometimes he was made of nylon and tied down and staked.
Oh.
Other times he was locked in a trunk and folded up and couldn't breathe. Finally he went to the doctor. The doctor said, I see what the problem is here. You're too tense.
Thank you, Pig. Thank you, Pig. I appreciate that. Thank you, Pig. I got a P3 in my garage. Been meaning to find a build for it. Dude, see, and you know, the one thing I was very sad. I was gonna mount a P3 to the wall in my garage and put that up there, but like too much sawdust, too much metal grinding, and a bunch of other fun things that I like to do in my garage. You know, dad relaxation time. But yeah, it's something like that's a little too much. But like being able to put a PC under the workbench and just kind of have it down under there and just route, it's actually pretty convenient for that. So that does work out pretty good. Granted, I don't use it too much. You know what I mean? But it's like I said, I had the parts. What was I going to do? Throw it away? You know what I mean? It works. I got a problem with upgrading. You know what I mean? Like you gotta do something with it, right? Gotta do something with it. And then, you know, the other thing too is as I'm plugging in my connections for my power supply, I'm really trying to keep everything to one side instead of like spreading everything out around. So if I can kind of keep stuff nice and clean, I would do my due diligence here. Then I wonder why you... All right, which one do I like better? Okay, this one doesn't have... Well, we'll use this one for the GPU side. There we go. And then, yeah, of course, don't forget to hide that matcha when securing your Thermaltake power supply. Oh, yeah. Fully disappeared. But, for me, it's the click. Like, for me, plugging it in, it's got a thunk, not a thud, not a click, not a snap. It's a thunk. It's a different connection than I would say some of the, like the Molex and the SATAs are like a click. Click. You know what I mean? 24 pins, kind of like a thud, but it's a little different. It's a little different, but it feels good. But yeah, the little color action, especially when you have a white power supply with white connections, with white cables, with white connectors. I mean, it's really obvious to not see if you're seeing any green in there, you know what I mean? You know, it's good. You know what I mean? It's not like we made them white. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because I don't think anybody else has done that, but no, I get it. And I'm kind of glad we didn't go with like something like red or, I don't know. Green is good. Green is good. Just make sure you don't see the green. You know what I mean? Now, with this part right here, you kind of have a couple of different options with it. I mean, I think a lot of us will just be like, all right, I'm just going to feed this in and then mount the power supply in there. There is a nice little cutout, extra wide cutout, I would say, over here for like your main cable purpose running. But you have to also understand that there is not a lot of depth to the backside of the case. This isn't a dual chamber kind of case, you know what I mean? It's so like that you lose a lot, but then we're trying to think small here, guys. We're trying to think small right here. You know what I mean? Well, someone in here has a Screeching Weasel logo for a profile pic. Oh, okay. Cool. I can't see it, but okay. I try to read all the chats, guys. I really do. I really do. It's heard sometimes when you're building. Because I can imagine it's like, I'm wondering, like, gaming wise, like gaming and watching chat versus building and watching chat. I gotta probably say that I would think that building is a lot less stressful than trying to game and like, clear, one tap and then being able to read all the chats and everything. There's some great streamers out there that I am impressed with the amount of people that they talk to and interact with, man. It's crazy. I strive to be them, man. I strive to be them. All right, so I have all my cables plugged in, but I'm not going to push all the cables in. I'm going to do them like one at a time. I feel like I have a good amount of room with the power supply to kind of just let it all hang out a little bit. Let's get our screws back in here, and then we'll just kind of feed each cable one at a time. I'm not big on just like jam it all in. I mean, let's be honest. We don't want to go too hardcore with it. You know what I mean? But we do have to get this kind of lined up now with the cables in, and you can see how much of a struggle or not a struggle it is. To be fair, it's not too bad. And I think a lot of this I liked because I didn't want to have to deal with the pressure of the cables pushing down or pulling because I tucked it too far in or whatever it could be. So we're just keeping it easy peasy. You know what I mean? Like we're going to get our power supply mounted for real this time. So there's 2 screws. Let's get the other 2 in, and then we'll start feeding these bad boys in here. We'll start feeding these bad boys in here. Let me see if I can find the other 2, though. I have everything well organized. Just kidding. I don't have anything organized, but that's why you're here, right? To see what I do right. I mean, maybe. Sometimes. Nope, it's not that one. Wow, in a sea of screws. Where did you... Oh, there's one, baby. Oh my gosh, the diamond in the rough. The needle in the haystack. I found you. Let's see if we can get lucky twice. I should have pre-planned this. Well, we have one. We're almost there. It's like a short round screw. I remember it in my memories. I wish this screw would step back from this bowl and tell me that you're the one I'm looking for. These are not the screws you're looking for. I know you got that reference. I know you did. Let me see. Wait. Oh. Ha ha ha. See? Achievement unlocked. Screws found. And then it has a little parenthesis thing that says 4. Steam achievement. That'd be some crazy Steam achievements, to be fair. Like, it makes me think of like PC part picker. Okay, so power supply's mounted. We're in the upper section. You got that. Ooh, the Lord singing about some golden tickets.
Found one, honey.
Dude, rip Sora, man. It's, what is it? Sora's ending on like the 25th or the 26th or something like that. Pouring out for Sora, man. What if it fell off the edge of the table? The song choice. Could. It could. All right, now we're going to work our way. Like, you know, I got my cables on the inside. We'll work with inside to outside with some cableage here. We got to see. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to make the front look pretty. And I don't know if I'm necessarily going to like the extra length. I might come back and lower it down because I don't know yet. You know what I mean? We're building this together. You know what I mean? So EPS, here's the EPSs. That's going to have to go a long way back there, but that's okay. Then we got this wonderful, and then see, like, for this one, like, you know, with my my Gen 5 or my 12V2 by 4 high power cable, I'm going to run that through the back, but then I'm going to run it back through the front because I don't want just like a hanging out, you know what I mean? Plus, I still want to have some good room, you know, to mount the fans right here. But, oh, hey, what if I had a case, you know, what if the case did even more for me? Whoa. Like, what if I was able to just take the entire floor out of the case while I'm doing this so I don't have to worry about stuff like that? Well, guess what? Guess what? The TR2 can do that for you too. I think it's kind of funny, you know, as part of my fun little thing here, but like, think about just the advantages you get of being able to not have a floor and just be able to just kind of plug stuff in this way. Like, say you already had the power supply in and you're like, oh, I forgot to plug the cables into the power supply before I mount it. I'm going to have to take it off. I've already snapped the front panel in and I'm just like, oh, woe is me, right? I'm going to go complain. You know what I mean? And then Thermaltake does you a solid and says, well, you know what? That's in your, just take the floor out. What do you mean take the floor out? That's a thing? And then that's when you just sit back with a smile and you go, We probably should have put the 24 pin in first, but I'm doing this so you guys can all kind of see, right? So here is the majority, I would say, of the cables that we need. I got a Molex, SATA, EPS, 24 pin, 5 gen. So all those cables are plugged in right here. Good coming in. Let's go. Take the floor out.
Ggood003 just resubbed for 54 months.
Oh, G
Take the
good.
floor out.
My G good. G good. Thank you, bro. Appreciate the 54 on the floor months. Got a 54 on the floor, baby. Cubic inches. But yeah, like just ease of installation, you know, like how can we just make it a little bit easier for you? Especially when you have stuff like this, right? Where your power supply mounts in the front, cables pointing down. You'd be like, you know, this makes sense that I could just take the damn floor out and then have that little bit extra room. And you know, also kind of judging here too, look at how the cables are without the floor, but consider the floor still has to go in with fans on top. So that was another reason why I kind of wanted the power supply like just a little bit taller. You know what I mean? A little bit taller. Okay. So yeah, that's the funnest side there with that. And I think I can kind of, you know, shift them over so it gives like a clean little look, but we'll see. You know, that front fan, I might be a little worried on it, like kind of rubbing a little bit, but we'll see how everything goes. But we got our cables routed, power supplies in, we got, you know, party in the back here. So we have a lot of this kind of more or less set up. We have the floor out. Let's go ahead and throw our fans in, shall we? You know what I mean? Because another nice little thing that I like, and this probably is one of the most annoying for me, is that with most cases, I have to put the fans in on the floor where, you know, I don't get to take the floor out like I can take the top panel out. Well, guess, you know, the other thing, the top panel comes out too. So you basically have the whole thing open top to bottom. But it does make it nice because we'll be able to mount our AIO to this bracket, slap the whole thing in, mount the fans to the bottom, and then just put the top of the case back on. You know what I mean? So cool little features, you know, new little conveniences. You know what I mean? I give me everything. Give me all of it. Now, I had some other fans. They were more of like just like the single fans and everything that I was going to use. But, you know, our AIO with the new LB AIO cooler. So this has our new style fan. This is basically a 3-in-1. So it's 3 fans on 1 frame all put together. And it's pre-installed on the AIO out of the box. So this gives you some nice conveniences of one, not even having to mount the fans to the radiator, because you more or less, there's really not many configurations today where somebody's going to be like, oh man, why'd you do that with the fans? I have to put a bracket in between there. So don't see that as an issue there. This is definitely making it even easier. You know what I mean? X-Sun coming in with a 16. Waffle, baby. Let's go. Thank you much. But like this will make it easy. I just mount the bracket to the back. The whole dang thing slops right in there. Good to go. Simple, easy, right? Simple, easy. And then we are also in the works on making some other 3-in-1 fan only fan choices that you can grab that we're going to have, including singles. So something like this where I got like, this is a 3-in-1 fan, makes it real simple. There's 4 screws. That's it. Set it on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, done. 360 fan installed. All you got to do. And then we are also working on a matching single fan for that back fan there. So everything just lines up nice, right? Because I think if you're going to be looking at this $90 cooler and it's just going to hit all the right boxes for what you need on your budget, you're going to want something simplistic to go with it. Of course, this one right here is in an exhaust type of format, as you can see by the blades are on this one. And then just giving a quick little comparison, seeing the blades facing the other way, these are all then intake. So then these can go fan facing up in the bottom, intaking up and in. You got this as your exhaust. And then of course your 3 other fans is exhaust going up out the top, giving you a pretty standard, straightforward 7 fan configuration. I mean, let's be honest, right? A couple of fans in the front might have made a little bit of difference, but then the case would have changed completely because then I would have turned it into like a dual chamber version. But I like this elongated rectangle. It makes sense today because of how big these things are. And I would say a lot of it is focused around the graphics card that you want to use. I think a lot of us are still there today with that just because the graphic card is just so big. There's probably a case out there that you want, but that graphics card's too big, right? Or like you have a gigantic case, but your GPU's only this long and it doesn't look very good in there. You know what I mean? So we're going to go ahead and slap this on here so we can get our 3 fans in, and then we'll just have this all nice and easy run. And then, dude, we just put the top back on. You know what I mean? One thing to mention, too, with the case is that you do have some storage options right here. So you can mount a 2.5 like HDD here. There is also options behind. Let me, if I slide this over here, since we're talking about it, there's another storage bracket here where you can do 2 SSDs or 1 HDD here on the back. I mean, I know a lot of us are using M.2 flash type of storage, but I feel for cases like this, a single HDD is definitely a need, not a want. So you still have the option to do that 1 HDD there in the back. I mean, bro, if you had extra SSDs, you could figure out how to slap those in there too and not really worry too much about it. You know what I mean? But you do have 2 options as far as the case officially supports for, you know, full mounting of storage, right? Because storage is still important. And especially with me talking this up about Media PC, it's got to be something to be considered, right? Sucking on chili dog. Oh, wait, wrong song. That's Box's favorite song, though. But yeah, hey, I appreciate you guys being here. Awesome. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Hope you guys are doing good. Don't forget to smash that waffle message in the chat if you want to win yourself something awesome, because that's all we have here is awesome prizes. I gotta say, I think our prizes are just, we got some good waffles, man. We don't bring no bargain waffles here on Thermaltake Live. You got 17 minutes till the kitchen's closing, right? You better get in. Have you seen what these people are winning? Have you seen, do you understand how the prize works? Do you understand your prize, your way? Do you understand that we have an OnlyFans page? Sorry, I had to. Oh, but at least I have nice chrome thick coarse screws here for my custom build. I do like that the snow editions will come with chrome standoffs and chrome screws. The black one will come with just, you know, regular black screws to kind of blend everything in. Same with the cables for like all this stuff, you know, for the front panel and everything. That is also all white, including the HD audio that has been ketchup and mustard for decades. Finally, right? Finally get to say it. What was that? What's that one movie where the food's alive? That was such a crazy movie, dude. Where the food's alive in the supermarket. That movie was wild. The chain, I didn't feel the same after watching that movie. The baby carrots. The poor baby carrots. A sausage party. Great name. Didn't they make a second movie? Didn't they make a second movie? Oh, dude, what did I see yesterday? What are they making? They're making, oh, what was it that I saw yesterday? God, I was just talking about it. They're making a second movie. I'm trying to remember what it was. They just announced it too. I forgot. I'll try to remember here. I got syrup on the brain. I got to think about all these cables and all this stuff. It really makes me think about waffles a lot. You know what I mean? And then and everything goes to you know where. And I'm not talking about like Spaceballs because I am excited for that, but that's next year. Whoa! Don't say that. What do I do? What do I say? All right, so we're just gonna like just chill the cables right there because I'm not sure how the cableage is gonna go. I'm not sure how the cableage is gonna go on this. Plus, but the fan's mounted, so the fan's in there good. And then we'll have to take a look. Let's see what this is gonna look like, so you guys can get the. Let's dive in on this. Let's dive in on this a little bit. Ramp. There we go. So fan bottom thing here. Let me get this little right there. Okay. Just don't want to. I mean, I guess I should just done that. Whatever. And then line it up. Yeah, I was wondering how this was gonna go. Oh, and then I see what I can do here. Okay, cool. So let's get the freaking base on first. Okay, so like it goes down like this, and then you can kind of see how like the back. So then it scoots back. So it'll scoot back like that. There is a set screw here on the back middle, and you'll just need to tighten that to lock the bottom in. You know what I mean? So however you, oh, see, then that becomes, oh, I see, that can become an issue there because it's on the, you know what? I am smarter. We'll just hang it off the edge of the table. Can't fool me. But yeah, no, just make sure everything's good. All right. So then I got the bottom in. Now this right here, of course, I was assuming, you know, this would be a problem, right? Because this is going to hit, this isn't going to work, right? So I did notice this initially, that there's a nice little chunk of space right there. So let's see, because one, I got to say, there's a lot of slack back here. I'm not going to need this much slack. Maybe the only one that's going to matter is the EPS, specifically since I can't just plug it in back here because, you know, hey, no backwards connectivity on this. But that little bit of extra wiggle room, I am going to want to utilize that for some cableage. And then this will kind of allow me to kind of see if I can kind of just get it around the back fan there. Now I could probably do some fun little bundling with some cables to kind of get it nice, but we got a lot more still to do. But then being able to have that extra room right there to be able to kind of get the cables on the outer edge of the fan, so all three of your intake fans are, of course, going to be running properly. I think it's important to have that space. And I think when you look at this too, you can kind of see why I opted to go on the upper mount versus the lower mount. I mean, yeah, I could probably drop this down, but when you look at where that's going to be on the case, I mean, it's going to go all the way down to here, I believe, because then you'd have this mount. Oh, sorry, you can't see. So then this is the upper mount, this is the lower mount. So it drops probably, this is about, what is that? Probably about 1.5 inches? 1.5 inches, maybe 2. So yeah, that's about 2 inch. So that's about a good 2-inch drop on the, sorry, I hit the camera. But that's like about a 2-inch drop. Actually, it's more like 1.5 inches. Yeah, no, see, I was always right. I'm always right. It's about 1.5 inches. But still, like that 1.5 inches is still a lot, right, guys? Still a lot. So then dropping that down there, though, think about what that's going to take away, right? Because, bro, I mean, think about your spacing right there. I mean, that from the bottom of the power supply to the bottom of the case is 3.5. So you're losing half your space right there with that. You're losing half your space. Mike knows 1.5 inches when he sees it. That's right. Was all part of the joke. Come on, man. It's a PC case. How can I break up your Wednesdays with the fun little inch talk? You know what I mean? I was thinking about it the whole time. So were you, secretly. You're like, you know, yeah. I love you guys. Happy Wednesday. What do we got like 10 minutes left on the waffle. All right, now we got to figure out what we're going to do with this. Because we got these. I put them in the back. I figured, You know, I got a cool little hole right here. Grab this dude. Ow! It stabbed me. One of these days I'll figure out how to build a PC. One of these days. I feel like sometimes when I do like those little advertisement short videos or whatever for Thermaltake, I'm talking this fast. Welcome to Thermaltake. Blah, 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 blah. Like the Micro Machines guy. Like, to be fair, that Micro Machines guy had a freaking superpower, and his pronunciation was so good, so fast. I was like, damn. Little tape measure is goated. I have one and it's perfect. Dude, it is the best for that, right? That I use that freaking little tape measure for so many things. But a lot of it is just so I don't have to have a big chunk or what. I don't need to know what 24 feet or whatever. The cases don't come that big. But I think it's cool. I do like it. I have a couple of them actually. And then it's like, you know, when I used to do hard tube bending and everything, I have the little mini levels to, you know, check, make sure my tubes were nice and straight. That thing actually worked out really good. But I do like to just eyeball it half the time because usually I'm just that good. I'm just that good. I haven't bent a tube in a long time though. Sad. Now, another thing here to kind of just throw at you is one thing you want to kind of just take note of. When you look at, get this back up. There we go. But yeah, so I don't have to change the camera. But one thing to notice too is like, oh, it's in the middle. So we designed this a little different for this particular AIO, and I think it's with good intentions in mind. Because normally we're used to having the cable on one side or the other with the AIO, and of course, yeah, the fans come pre-installed on the AIO itself. Let's see if they did it correctly, because ideally, right, it depends on which way that AIO is going to mount as far as what side this bad boy should be on, right? Is on this side or on this side, depending on how we do this thing. But I can already tell you, flipping it upside down, now, depending on which way you go, right? Now, like with a case like this, if I'm going to go tubes in the back, that's wrong. Now, if I go tubes in the front, it's more or less going to work. Now, and I can understand that you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision on it because you have A or B. Flip a coin, right? A or B. You're going to make half of them happy and half of them sad, but which half, right? So I feel that because with this case, specifically because of the power supply mounted in the front, normally I would do cases where the tubes would be mounted in the front. So I get a nice swoosh, you know, for my AIO as far as how it's going to mount. But in this case, I'm going to want to switch it up. So we're going to switch it up. But I just letting you know about that. But it is cool that it's in the middle because then I'll be able to kind of just hide it that way. It saves me a little bit of convenience for that. But then again, you know what I mean? It's like one side or the other side. And you just got to kind of think about that. And I've been there where I've put it on back and it's in the go, oh, I put 12 screws in and I put it all on the wrong side. And then you got to take all 12 screws back out. So just remember, you have to make a decision on which way it's going to go, and you're going to make some people happy and some people sad. It's the unfortunate situation of being, you know,
What day is
as I call Kenny the king of cool. You know what I mean? You have to make a decision. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say this was the bad way to go. It's just that it's like you can't have the cable on both sides of the fence. You know what I mean? But this is going to take, what, in a minute? I mean, the nice thing is that all the screws are already in here. I'm just more or less loosening them and swapping them around to the other side. Oh, I didn't get these ones. I didn't screw it enough. Happens. Wait. Oh, no, I'm not going to say it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Stay all nice and pretty so I can just flip you around. They're like still stuck. Wait. There. All right. See, you're just like, oh my God.
Why know what I mean?
That was good. I like that. Rah! There we go. Not a big deal, but something to pay attention to. I mean, I guess you could maybe wrap it around, but why would you do that? It doesn't take too long. I am definitely never a good example when it comes to this in live streams because, you know, I ain't trying to speed build here. It's Wednesday, man. I'm chilling. We're chilling. The only time constraint I have is I got about 4 minutes left on this because you guys are going to be like, dude, waffle me now. Oh man, it's Wednesday. I love it. You guys got plans for the weekend? You know, I got to be honest, between family stuff, sleep, eating, and Crimson Desert, that's literally been my life the last couple of weeks, minus the Boston trip. I am definitely hooked on Cliff. I've been having a lot of fun. I can't believe how far I'm in and how much more there is. That's probably the best thing I could ever say about a game right now is that there's so much freaking content. I've missed that in games, but I don't want to go too hard on it. You know what I mean? It's been a fantastic game. All right, so 3 minutes to put a bracket on. Joke's on you. We're going to probably take a little longer. All right, now, same thing with the bracket, too, because I'm going to give you guys a couple extra minutes on the waffle because I still see some waffling going on. I need a Crimson Desert key. Bad. Dude, you do. You know what? I got to tell you, I wouldn't say there are too many $70 games out there that are worth $70. Some, absolutely. This one, I would definitely say it's worth it. And I say it's worth it because if it's a game that you're into like I am, the time is there. The time, your ROI of time to cost is there. I mean, I'm 130 something hours in and I feel like I'm not even halfway through the game. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to speed rush it. Almost said that. I'm not trying to speed rush it. I'm not trying to look up everything and find all the answers. I'm stressing myself out trying to figure it out on my own. But that's what I like about it. The puzzles are freaking hard. Just like this bracket. No, I'm kidding. You have to remember that this bracket, the way it goes on, so that when you mount it here, you don't mount it backwards. It's important, right? Just take yourself a little extra time. We make it easy. There's 2 holes on this side, 1 hole that side. So at least you know which one's front or back, right? So I can sit there and be like, all right. But then I know it goes this way. Oh, and I got the little power cord in the way there. So then this goes down and it slots in just like that. Then you remember this. This is the way the AIO is going to mount here. So then you just take this out. Don't turn it. You bring it right. Oh. See? Now we know what we're doing. Now you want to kind of look at your gappage here. I want my AIO as far forward as possible because of the fact that I have tubes back here and I'm going to have a fan right here too. So I don't want the tubes literally going right down on the top of the fan. Want a little bit of room there. And I have the little extra wiggle room or, you know, the top deck. I'm gonna screw this up, but I have the top deck there to fit between the power supplies, but with no tubes in the front, I mean, smooth sailing, right? I got no problems up there. So we'll go as far forward as we can so that way our tubes don't get in the way on the back side of things. But we're literally gonna have to do like a with the AIO, which I'm actually kind of excited for. So let's see, how much more forward can I be? All right, there we go. All right, now, remember, guys, remember, giveaways are closed. Waffle is closed. Okay, Waffle timer is off. We are in overtime. We are in Waffle overtime now. If you would like to waffle, and you didn't waffle yet, and you were wondering, well, what is a waffle and everything? I see all these people typing waffle in the chat. If you want to get in on our giveaway that we used to call raffle, that we now call waffle, type !waffle to verify that you are a meat popsicle and not a robot. I'm trying my best here for you guys. You know what I'm saying? Get in on this because you could be a lucky winner in our wheel spin coming up very soon. Very soon.
So Mike, would you give Crimson Desert the GOTY 2027 award?
27? Well, no, because the game come out in 26. Is that a trick question? Are you trying to trick me? You trying to trick old ThermalMike? I wouldn't say it's game of the year, but it's up there. I definitely feel they're going to get some good awards. I don't know if it's Expedition 33 status or other games that, like, I mean, game of the year, like, solid answer for me was Elden Ring. Like, 100% Elden Ring when it came out. Game of the year for me, 100%. Nothing even came close. It's like Lord of the Rings when it came out, and they just won every single award possible. But I know some people are, you know, here or there with certain things, you know what I mean? But I think, I think it's a good game. I think it's a good game. I've been hooked on it. I wouldn't be saying this if I wasn't hooked on it, you know what I mean? But then at the same time, you know, not to kind of like just be crazy about Crimson Desert. Did you guys see the new core update from the creators of Tarkov? Did you see the new game that they got? They got a space Tarkov game. Oh my goodness. But the interesting thing that I saw is that it's going to support DLSS 4.5, which I feel is kind of interesting because when I hear that they're going to say that the game's going to support DLSS 4.5, not 5.0, it really makes me think the game's going to be coming out sooner than later. But I think that's just me being hopeful. You know what I mean? I think that's just me being hopeful. But we are in Waffle overtime. I am just wrangling these screws out so we can at least get this bracket on here, and then we'll waffle, okay? Then we'll waffle after that, all right? But yes, get in on the waffle. Remember, you kids, we have to be within the U.S. or Canada. You have to give me a follow, just a follow. You don't have to be here for every Wednesday. I get it. Come on back to ThermalMike every now and then. You know what I mean? We appreciate you here. You know, we try to break up your week. I try. I think you guys, you know, we've been doing it for a little bit. Not trying to do anything crazy, you know, just break up everybody's week a little bit. Let's see, how freaking close can I get this to the front? Maybe that's too close. We got to give a little bit of wiggle room. Just a little bit. Hopefully, though, we're going to give ourselves at least, 25 mils for fan thicknesses? Fan thicknesses. Okay. Well, we'll ease down. We'll ease down on that a little bit. All right, let's just get like one more in. We don't want this thing flying out of here. We don't want it flying anywhere. You know what I mean? But this is really nice that I can just have the whole thing like this. We have this with the case, and then we can just drop this bad boy in. Just like this. Minding our cold plate. There we go. Get a little test fittage. Test fittage there. See, I think we're going to have enough space for the fan in the back. See? Get that bad boy forward and you won't have fan problems. You know what I mean? It's important. Cooling is important. It's important. I hope we're having fun yet, chat. Happy Wednesday. Thank you guys for breaking up my week. I hope I'm helping break up your week, man. Appreciate you guys all being here for Thermaltake Live. Did we get all the wafflers in? Is everybody done? Everybody done? Last waffler. Come on. Ooh, any more? Is it? You're throwing me off by typing emote instead of waffle. I'm like, all right, gorilla. All right, one of the last wafflers. Anybody else? Last call. Last call for waffles. Last call for waffles. Cleared for waff. Hell yeah. Come on. Who else? Who else? Now is the time. Cleared for syrup. Good. Very good. Very good. Turned down for waffle. Dude, that'd be a good idea for a song. Let's see if I can figure out a turn down for what? Try to see if I can come up. I don't know. That Waffle Up song was a real banger, man. That song really just hit, dude. I'm loving that Waffle Up song, dude. It's just good, dude. A lot of them are mixed bag, man. Some of them are, it's just these waffles. That's right. It's waffles. It's what's for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Doesn't matter, right? Okay. Last wafflers are in. This is it. I gotta cut you off. I gotta cut you off, guys. All right. Last bit wafflers. This is it. Closed. That's it. We're done. We're done. Closed.
I am the waffler, golden crispy, bad guys of history.
Yeah. Love that one, dude. Thank you. All right. Waffle is closed. The waffle is closed. Good luck, everybody. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crazy transition time.
Waffle up, but I down the waffles.
That's right. Yeah, it's waffle time. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Today could be you, G Good. Today could be you. Good luck, bots. I am a meat popsicle. These are not the waffles you're looking for. All right. Waffle time. Thank you guys so much for waffling with us on another glorious Wednesday. Bask against the beautiful scenery of Mount Waffle and the Waffle Falls as our TT Dude lifeguard paddles closely by in the syrup lake of awesomeness. There he goes. So graceful, so majestic. Some would even claim whimsical. Some would even say whimsical. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Nuclear Cowboy. Nuclear Cowboy. Congratulations. Nuclear Cowboy over on Twitch. Nuclear Cowboy, are you there? Congratulations. Congratulations, Nuclear Cowboy. Please say something. Come on down. Nuclear. I'm gonna say it how it. I need him to say something though. Maybe he is busy right now. He could be walking his car or washing his dog. We don't know. Maybe he's trying to pull over. Honk at them. Tell them that this is important, but do it safely. Do it safely here. We're all about safety here at Thermaltake Live. Mr. Cowboy. He's probably thinking about 200 mil fans. This is very true. We will give him a chance. You don't know. Maybe he's, busy. You know what I mean? Maybe he's running to the PC right now, full sprint, and waiting. And he's trying to type. He's so nervous because he just won a waffle. I can't even type. Maybe he's doing his taxes. He's like, dude, can you hurry up H&R Block? I just won a waffle and I need to get off the phone. And they're like, sir, you still owe the government thousands of dollars. And he's like, I don't care. I still won the waffle. You gotta hurry. Did we give him enough time, chat? Did we give enough time, chat? He could be doing his tax. I would fit. He better. Please don't be like, I was doing my taxes. Today's the last day, man. You know what? It's just, we can only do so much here at Waffle Land. We can only do so much. I'm giving him solid time here, guys. I'm giving him just as much as I would give you the benefit of the doubt. I've been counting quietly in my head. Not loudly. I've been not yelling. I'm just counting quietly in my head. All right. Push the button. Yep, I agree. Sorry. Oh, not that one. Oof. I do apologize about that, but we are gonna have to re-roll. You have to be present in order to waffle. I do apologize. I hope it was important, and I'm very sorry. All right. Next up, before wait, hold on. Let's start it over again. Yeah, waffle time. Let's go. Yeah, it's waffle time again. No rolls here. Only waffles. 3, 2, 1, go. McWilshire Baggins. Potatoes. McWilshire Baggins, congratulations. Potatoes, are you here? He is here. Let's go, McWilshire Baggins. Congratulations. Congratulations, man. Congrats on winning another waffle, my friend. No way, spin it. Let's go. Come on, baby. Let's go, baby. Big money, big money, big money, big money. Oh, that's a very powerful waffle. Some would even say it looks like the Kodiak brand that's at the store there. You got some protein waffles coming your way with some powerful waffles your way, my friend. Congratulations on winning a power supply up to 1,050 watts. Congrats. Let's go power. The power. Give me the power. Congrats, man. Congrats. All right. Next up, one more. Give it away now. Conga Maniac. We got back-to-back Twitchers. Conga Maniac. Oh my God, no way. Let's go, Conga Maniac. Congratulations on winning the waffle. Thanks for waffling with us. Spin that bad boy, he says. Let's go, baby. Come on. Come on, show me that waffle. Show me. Oh, back-to-back powerful waffles. Wow. Back-to-back power waffles, man. Congratulations, you guys, on winning your choice of a Thermaltake power supply. I've got the power. Reminds me of that He-Man shower. I have the shower. I love it. Congrats, guys. That's a powerful giveaway. And of course, we'll be back each and every week that we stream with more waffles coming your way. So we appreciate you guys being here. All of us here at Thermaltake trying to give back, kind of help cut that cost a little bit on the PC upgrades. We trying, man. Enjoy those powerful power supplies. You know what I mean? You guys have any questions? Feel free to reach out. Don't forget to Discord me that you are a meat popsicle to verify that you are not a beep, boop, beep, 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 beep. You know what I mean? We don't want no waffle beep, beep, boop, boops, right? All right. Yeah, good waffling. Nothing like a good waffling on a Wednesday. Am I right? Don't stop believing. Next week could be you. Thanks again for waffling with us, guys. We appreciate you. By the power of gray water. I shower with distilled water only. My body is a radiator. Distilled water only. My body is like a water block. Not corroded. I didn't put that silly coolant in mine. Probably be really good for your skin, to be honest. Well, you know, I mean, I think one of the things that changed a lot for me was like I got an ice maker, and you know it makes those little nugget ice. The freaking thing was a fortune, you know. But I got a little ice maker, and I was a fool at first to put even bottled water in there. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't just fill it with tap water from the kitchen sink, man, right? I was using the filtered water from the fridge. I was then using actual filtered water bottles, and it still had problems with it. Nightmare to clean. And then I went distilled water, and it's been solid. Like, not one problem. Distilled all the way for the ice. And you know, to be fair, it tastes better. It tastes better. Oh, we had a Conga Maniac win, Teffin, and we had a potatoes guy win. He says potatoes. No, I'm just kidding. Mick Wilshire Baggins won as well. Congrats again, you guys. I bet you're not even seeing this message. Too busy picking a power supply. Like, dude, so if you win a waffle, right? If you win a waffle, you're going to come over here to thermaltakeusa.com. You're going to go, oh, I want a power supply. So I'm going to click on power. Now, if you really wanted Dr. Power, you could do this, but Dr. Power is in the TT Gear prize pool. So Dr. Power is an accessory, so TT Gear prizes, you can still get the new Dr. Power 3, just to be fair. But up to 1,050 watts for power. And because I want to say 1,000, but we have 1050 watt power supplies. I didn't want to screw people out of that, right? But at the same time, I can't offer a $500 1650 digital power supply. I can't go that far, okay, guys? But I think 1,000's a really cool prize. I mean, when you look at the power supplies in there, I mean, I've had a lot of people pick SFX power supplies, like the 1,000 watt and the 1,200 watt. That's a $200 prize right there. I would say a lot of people are looking at the TF3s, not necessarily the 1,300, but looking at the 1,000 watt. I've had a good amount of 850s, of course. There's some other units that are here, but remember, has to be in stock. And it's your power, your way here with us. So as long as it's 1,050 and under, I got no problem with it. And of course, too, if there is a unit that you're super set on and it's in a notify me status, you're more than welcome to message me, and I can check to see if maybe there's one or two, you know, in the little extra bin, you know, because sometimes we have like a little buffer and I might be able to make some things happen, but no guarantees, right? Rules are rules here in Waffle Land. But yeah, dude, we try to offer a good amount of stuff for all you guys. We appreciate you guys coming and visiting us once a week, couple hours on a Wednesday. Break up that week. And you know what? Mike. What day is it, Mike? Try to have a good time. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? All right, let's get back into it. Hell yeah. Love having you guys here. Yeah, and that 1650 has 4 Gen 5 yeah. That's actually really new too. That's a 1650i, or it's our new digital power supply, and that's going to be the first power supply that's going to tie in with our TTRGB Plus 3.0 software, and it gives you like all the all the monitoring stuff all the 12 volt little independent rails on your Gen 5, your Molex, like it does all that digital stuff that you guys more or less have seen out there. You know, DC to DC conversions and everything, digital is good. It's solid, you know what I mean? But good analog power supply is good too. You know what I'm saying? I can't be biased on one or the other because I sell both. You know what I mean? But I would say what is important is to make sure you give yourself a little bit of extra room, right? If you're buying a power supply, I really try to make it where my components that I have is going to probably take up at most 80% of my power supply's total wattage. I mean, we list power supplies here as a continuous power, meaning that it will always give you that value. Like this one is an 850 watt power supply. It is guaranteed to give you 850 watts the entire time. Now, does that mean it can do more? Absolutely. There is a peak wattage versus a continuous wattage. So you can get a little bit extra headroom out of it, but I always recommend to kind of shoot around 80% of the total wattage on there. So like, you know, if you're sitting around 700 watts or something like that, 650 total component wise, I would say you're gonna be okay. These graphic cards do really kind of change and raise a lot of that up. So there's stuff like that, right? But, you know, a little bit extra headroom does definitely help. You don't want your power supply running at 100% the entire time because you cheaped out a little bit on the power. Don't cheap out on power. You know what I mean? You still want that TT Sync Controller V2. You know, I'm waiting for updates if we're going to bring that in. We did get a sample of it, but I have yet to get the software and do any testing with it at the moment. So I'm not really sure what the plans are for it here in the US. I know some people that have bought it in Europe and other places, and they're just like, how does this work? And I'm like, I don't know. I have it. We don't have it. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, those are things that I definitely like to be hands-on with stuff before I talk to people about things. Definitely like to be hands-on with stuff. I like to know because I'm just finicky like that. You know what I mean? Clearly not enough watched tool time, also a TT. But yeah, dude, like, yeah, Threadripper and like 4090. I mean, dude, it's got to make sense, right? You know, there is PSU calculators. There's PC part picker that will help you with a lot of it. I mean, there's some sites out there that will give you some help. Make sure you take full advantage of that. All right. Okay. So let's pull the AIO back out. But we did a nice little test fit, right? Make sure, you know, hey, is that going to work before we have to maybe, you know, make or break some particular options there with the bracket. And surprisingly enough, we could have gone a lot more we could have gone a lot more forward. But one of the reasons why I didn't want to go too far, because I mean, if you can see, I mean, I know the bracket's here in the way for the optical drive, but like, let me just take this out really fast. My little electric guitar. Okay, so what was I saying? I got distracted. Oh yeah, so space, the final PC. Now you have you got a little bit of wiggle room here, right? Look. There's a little, you can see a little bit of wiggle room right here. I could definitely have had the AIO go more forward, right? Like on the bracket itself too with the slot, that matters because you can only go so much more forward, but it's still probably like a good ½ inch, right? But you have to understand with this case, there are specific reasons for certain things. Now, what I'm trying to do is find that balance of one versus the other, meaning that the AIO being forward enough where I will still be able to, and if you can follow me on this, I'm going to have to kind of loop this AIO, right? Like these tubes, because it can only mount in the back. So I'm going to have to figure out what to do with all this excess tubage, right? And when you look at the case and you look at where the tubes are, right? I don't necessarily want the tubes here like almost in front of the CPU, because it's going to make it difficult to do the little wrap around type of idea to then mount this onto the CPU, you know, to mount it up, right? So having it a little bit forward so I don't have clearance issues with the fan back here, but at the same time, I don't want this more like right there, as you can see, if you guys kind of understand what I'm saying, so that way your loop looks good, because what you'll do is you'll do your loop, you'll mount the block on there and be like, oh, I need to slide the rad back like just this much. So think about those kind of things. I kind of did, and I don't know, well, let's see what it looks like. Let's see how well we did, right? Get the back fan in too, because that'll help. You know what I mean? We got to have the whole package here. People say that it takes years to learn how to manually replace a door bolt, but I think that's just the locksmith. Why did it not play? It didn't play, right? But it's still fun. That's still funny. That's a good one. I like that one. Call a locksmith. Call a locksmith. If you know the movie, you're cool. If you know the movie, you're cool. It's good to be the king. Call a locksmith. Gotta love that ending. Gotta love that ending. It's so good. Now, the fan, right? So fan-wise, this is more or less your upper point. Well, there's an emote right there, literally in front of the fan. That was hilarious. So your fan can adjust height-wise, right? Your fan can adjust height-wise. This is the lowest point, if that makes sense, where this is more of the upper point. So I would say a lot of times with the fan, little extra clearance, and it all really kind of depends on how the mother or the GPU mounts to the case, right? So more or less, I mean, you can go a little bit lower, which in a way is a good idea, because having the fan a little bit lower is more just pulling that heat right off that GPU and that CPU area, because it's literally right here in the back. So if it's not going to cause a clearance with the GPU, like say, for example, if the GPU is vertical versus traditional in the case, that's going to make a big difference on where your fan is going to go. So, but I would encourage you to focus on mounting it lower than higher in most cases, if that's not an issue. You know what I mean? Well, here, I didn't get the screws out, and why am I sitting there holding it like a moron? Fine. It's fine. This is fine. Dude, corkscrews are easy to find. What the hell? What the hell? Wait. Did I miss? No. Wait. Am I tripping? You know what? I probably put them in a different. Hold on. Let me get my little box of tricks out here. I got a little extras. Yep, see right there. Easy mode. I have tons of these, to be fair. So I only need 4 more, right? Yep. Cool. All right, let's get this bad boy mounted. But yeah, I'll go for a lower mount because it's not gonna matter. And if I can pull that heat off the graphics card faster, I want to do that. I want to do that. Oh yeah. Whoa. Let's see what we can do. Oh my God. Oh, I was like, what happened to my music? Okay. Get this one in. Just got to get it lined up good. There we go. I should have probably...
Didn't have enough points for the last one. My anger management flyer blew out the car window yesterday. That's when I totally lost it.
That's when I totally lost it. I hate when that happens. That's amazing. Amazing stuff, you guys. We got some wires. We got some wires here, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad. All right, so like, yeah. See what I'm saying about the pump tubes, your tubage? You don't want your tubage to get jammed up against your fan back here. And then, yeah, just think about the graphics card when you want it was in regards to it. You got a nice exhaust here. Don't try to get too much extra heat going out. I mean, we all know a lot of it's going to be going up and out, but still, right? Where you can save a little, try to save a little, right? Okay, so we got that set up right there. That's good to go. Of course, we have the AIO to mount still, of course. See, what am I going to do? We got some cable tie stuff. I haven't even gotten the front mount stuff mounted yet, or the rest of those cables, but at least this way we got a good idea. Because again, remember, we test fit the AIO. We're not necessarily putting it in at this moment, but it's pretty much ready to go, right? But we'll take it out just so we have a little bit of extra wiggle room. And I love this again, being able to kind of drop it in, see how everything looks, and then be like, all right, I can take this out and get my cable management more or less set up. And this convenience of having this thing out of here is great. There's also these cool little tube clips, which I have not seen us do before, that they kind of added on here too. So keeping your tubes in a nice little lineup right here with this little guy right here. So we'll play with that too. We'll play with that too. Now we have a new mounting option here for this. Because again, this is a new cooler. This is our new LB360, $90 AIO 360 cooler, guys. We have an Intel bracket, of course, and an AMD bracket. Now, we're not using the stock AMD mounting for this one like we have on some other ones. We're switching over to more of like what we've done with the DIY side of things with AMD, and I like the DIY side of AMD a lot better. This is a very kind of unique bracket in a way, but it supports the AM4, AM5 type of mounting. Of course, we're just gonna use Intel because we got Intel today. And these things are super easy. You'll see that there's a beveled edge on one side. You want the beveled edge to be towards the top. This basically slots in, get the ponytail out of the way. This basically just slots in like that, and then you push and lock it. That's it. No screws. There's not 15 screws around here that you gotta put in to put that bracket on, and it locks itself in place and you're done. That's all that you need for that. And then you have the other side of things where, depending on what you're gonna do, of course, you have both an AMD and an Intel backplate. This, of course, has the mounting for both in regards to that. And, you know, you just gotta get out the appropriate screws and spacers, because we got 1150X 1200, we got 1700 1851, and I like how that's printed on the bag. This is an empty bag. That one doesn't matter. And then, of course, you have your AM5 versus Intel mounting hardware. So I like that, you know, I can be able to come in here. I don't have the AIO in my way. I can come in, I can set this down. Now I want to take a look again at this because it's for educational purposes. Educational purposes. Where did it? Ah, there we go. All right, here we go. So here's the cool little bracket, right? So as you can see on the bracket, this is set up, as you can see, these say, I think they say Intel, right? They say, yeah, it says Intel right there. Intel right there on that in regards. So then you have this bracket, you already have these in place out of the box. So this is set up like that. Now, looking at how this breaks down, because I don't have AMD, I'm not able to do directly both, but then so we can kind of see how this goes. You have adjustments here, depending on which one you have. It's just a little slider. I think we're familiar with that. Mounting that on there. Then, of course, you have two different size screws that are different between, as far as, like, you know, the different styles. Of course, we locked and loaded our Intel onto our AIO pump. And then, of course, you know, the paste and all that fun stuff then goes on then after. Now, this right here, when you look at this, there are these And these, like little spacers, as you can see, one's the 1700, the other's 1200, 1150X. They're definitely two different colors. You know what I mean? So then those are involved. But then, like, look, when I look on here, there's your back plate. Here's where the little spacer guys go on this side. Now, are these guys the ones that have the little teeth in the middle, right? So when we look at this one doesn't necessarily have the little teeth on there. So when I go to put this on, it's gonna fall right off. So that is something that I know a lot this can bug some people, because I've seen the other ones where it has the little teeth in there. We've done those before. And then that will kind of slot on like that, kind of holds it in place. So this is something where necessarily I don't want to lay the case down, because then this bad boy is not really going to have a way to hold up. You do have the 3M stuff, but I'm, you know, for what I do, I don't like to peel and stick that, because you know, I break these things down too often. So we'll just be a little tricky. We'll mount it in vertically, then we'll slot these on here, but then the AIO has to go on and then get the screws. So it's kind of like a all-in-one kind of process in regards to this, where a lot of times we're used to this having to mount. But again, you have these little peel and stick tabs there for that reason. So I'm going to make it a little bit more difficult, because I don't want to peel this, so I can remove this and use it in other things. But for you, I think you'll have a lot less of an issue, and mounting it vertically like this will be easier than more or less doing it this way. So that way you don't push down on this, breaking the you know, like the little tape guys, you know what I mean? So I would say more of a vertical installation process would be the way to go for that. Now, of course, if you have AMD with this one, you are actually removing the AMD stock hardware. So this is a new thing for us with that. And then, of course, you have a different back plate, or you use the existing back plate that is included with the mounting. So this will come off. You'll use the remaining back plate that's still on the motherboard, the one that comes with the motherboard. And then you have these guys that will screw into that back plate and then give you the thread on the other side to then utilize to then mount the CPU cooler. So this is a lot more of a straightforward, what we're used to type of process. The Intel side, maybe a little bit trickier on that and everything, but I do like how the AMD goes on this versus using the little clips. And you have to get the little hoop, you know, you got to hook the little hoop on this side, get that side, then you got to tighten down, and it's just 2 screws that holds it down. I do like 4. I think that for me makes a big difference, right? But yeah, the spacers are there so you don't over tighten things. I mean, a lot of this doesn't have a torque spec. I always don't recommend using an electric drill tightening. For loosening and breaking down, absolutely drill all you want. But as far as like mounting it on there, unless you know what you're doing, I always recommend just hand tighten that bad boy. Don't over tightening is bad, right? We've talked about it a lot with fittings. Same thing with CPU brackets, blocks, whatever you want to call it, right? Ugh. Okay, so it's a lot of stuff, right? It's a fun case. It's got a lot of different things. Make sure these are all in the right position. Position. Is it like? I guess it's symmetrical. It doesn't matter what's right or up or down. Plot this in here. I mean, doing it at least vertically like this, I don't see it fall. I mean, I guess you can't really see it, but I don't really necessarily see it falling out. You know what I mean? But again, some cables to do. Usually I like to skip a lot of this and everything, but I feel that with the size of this case and what it has, it's just, it's needed. You know what I mean? I'm probably going to run out of time today too, but you know, whatever. We'll waffle next week with it. We'll finish it up. Maybe I'll put something on here. Let's see if I can see how far we can get today. Let's see how far we can get with this bad boy today. I appreciate you guys hanging out. And yeah, I like what G Good says. I like how they said G Good, but G Good, you know, bringing it like, you know, hand tightening works too. And for like, see, you know, when you're doing custom cooling stuff, absolutely 100%, right? 100%, you know, on stuff like that. So, but we still do have a good amount of fun stuff to wrangle back here. So I think I'm going to spend a good amount of time on this, maybe a little bit off stream, but nothing too much. But at least maybe we can get some stuff going on and we can do some testing with this bad boy next week. You know what I mean? Now, 24 pins, pretty straightforward. That's going to more or less kind of fish its way through there. That's an easy one. You know, you got your Matcha Gen 5 connector right here. Boy, isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? I'm going to want to seat this as best I can there. I think this will probably be a good little spot. Kind of just pulling it through. And then I'm just wondering if I can, yeah, get that down in that little noche. Get that in the little noche right there. And then that gives us a decent little bit. Oh, I kind of cut the cable a little bit. Whoops. Like scratched on the motherboard. That's fine. Whatever. It's a tough cable. It's thick. It's thick. But yeah, see what I'm saying about the back plate? See, I like the back plate. You know, if I put the tape on there, I think it would, you know, eliminate this problem. But either way, right? Now, the other thing I'm looking at too is I got all this other power stuff. I got to figure out where I'm going to put it. And then I have all this front panelage stuff here too. So stuff like the shortcomings of like the Type C, that's going to more or less flow with our 24 pin. So we're going to kind of, let's just tuck that up that way because that's going to kind of go with that path. But then see this? This bugs me sometimes. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of bring this back in and we'll just braid the hair a little differently, right? And that right there, that makes me feel so much better. You know what I mean? Same with these. Like, I'm not going to probably come over like that. I'm going to probably bring these down and under. But I wanted to see what kind of thickness I had here on the side, right? Like, can I jam all of this in here and make it look pretty at the same time, right? See, I love how I don't have the ceiling on this case either, so I can kind of tuck this up. Because, again, dude, like I was saying, I think cases are different. Let's see. Is this kind of lower like it normally is? Yeah, but it's like stupid long. It's stupid. Actually, it goes in the bottom of the middle one. So we'll put this one up here. Kind of just have it loop like that. Because my goal is to try to get this nice and flat like that. And then tuck it down in this little channel. And then just kind of have this run up like this. And hopefully that should make a nice little clean look there with the case. Very minimal on the cables. I mean, I love how this stuff, thank God this stuff isn't rounded cables like I remember like back in the day. Of course, these guys do look very similar. Make sure you check. One has HD audio printed right on it in huge print for that. This one just, it's kind of funny how this one, you know, is embossed where this one's just a sticker. But F panel, don't F your panel, not your audio, right? Make sure you put the right one in the right place because you can't really tell anymore because this doesn't have ketchup mustard cable wires anymore. You know what I mean? So front panel, back panel. Now we know that the front panel one, and then see, this is where like this kind of stuff matters. And then, you know, this is where this turntable sucks. So then I'll just pull, yeah, see, you have a little bit more of a foundation here. So I'm not sliding around. I mean, I love my turntable. Don't get me wrong. I love my little Lazy Susan turntable, TV swivel, whatever you want to call it, right? Well, let's just make sure I say front panel right here. So front panel, this one's going to creep. Oh, see, no, I got to go back. We got to flip these around. Put the other one in the front because of reasons. Because of reasons. And then I'll put this like this because then the one on the front is the longer HD audio. Little front panel dude's gonna ninja his way in here like this. Where'd you go? Grab this. Kind of tuck that in there. I mean, we may have to do some extra loopity-loopities because that's probably gonna have to be pulled back a good bit, but we're just getting an idea. You know what I mean? We're just getting an idea. And then, of course, I mean, I guess if you want to plug this in, there's HD audio right there as well, right? And then let's see. We've got our Molex cable and our SATA or serial ATA. I'm going to take both of these bad boys and I'm probably going to jam them right here just for now, just so they're there. You know what I mean? Just so they're there. And then I'm going to see like, oh, I want to do this with this. We'll take this around the backside. And then that guy can kind of ride the wave. Oh, okay. So then I wanted to see what my length is, right? Can I do over and up and then in there with the connection, right? Or I am probably going to have a better chance going like that. So that's why I kind of like just to like, oh, okay, you know, see where I'm at. This gives me a nice little bit of depth right here. Because if you didn't notice, the motherboard is recessed. There's a gap here. So this part is more forward where this is back. And that gives you that little bit of extra wiggle room over here for the cable mounting. But it is a tight space though, okay? It is quite a tight space. And I mean, the only other little difference you have is you just got to deal with the power cable. But to be fair, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. And I do apologize, guys that are coming in. We have already waffled. I am so sorry that waffling is already finished for the day, but come back next week, you guys. We appreciate you. We'll try to get you in on the next one. We do what we can. But then, like, see, I need to move this over like that. There's my front panel. Just gonna plug that bad boy in blind right there. There we go. Then I can kind of tuck that out of the way. I'm gonna just tuck the Gen 5 down there just because whatever right now, right? Then we got, see, can you guys see this? Okay, all right. So then we've got our Type C. Type C is gonna go right here. Let's see if we got, it's 50-50 if you get it the first time. 50-50, oh, 50-50 winner, let's go. And then see now, I don't know, maybe I might want to run that down through here versus up through here. I don't know, I get picky with this stuff sometimes. You guys should see me doing cable management off stream. I mean, I guess it depends, sorry, wow. I hit the camera. I guess it just kind of depends on where everything's going, right? And like what I like. Because then, yeah, I'm going to have a little excess on this, but not too bad. 24 pins going to come around like a dece. But then as I can see, we got to flip it around, which is not a big deal. But then we have to make it so it goes out like a this. Goes out like a this, comes into this. And then we just got to do the hokey pokey and turn it all the way around. There we go. But yeah, I don't know. This is, see, like that's bugging me right there. So I'm going to pull that out and I'm going to wrap it under here on the bottom side instead. Because of reasons. Because of reasons. I mean, I know this doesn't look the best here. I do apologize for that. I do apologize for that. Little power plugs for our power. Now remember, if we're going to run, if we are going to run our power, or if we're going to do an optical drive here in the case with the optical drive, I do recommend you plug in the power here, and then this is going to come up over the top. You're not going to want to try to run it on the bottom of that power supply. But again, if you are just running the screen or nothing at all, I don't think you're going to run into too many problems. You know what I mean? We ate all the waffles. Sorry. There's only like leftover dried ones that were only half cooked left. I do apologize. I apologize in advance. But yeah, basic cableage, right? 24 pin, your Type C 3.0. I mean, we'll figure out what we're going to do with this stuff for like storage and all that later. You know what I mean? But then we still have EPS. And again, I can't love the fact that the top, all like the whole thing comes out on the top to be able to have this kind of convenience, because sometimes we miss, sometimes we forget, you know what I mean? And we already have everything in and we forgot to plug this guy in and you're like, damn it. and then it's in the way. These wires are in my way right now, and just kidding. These wires not too bad, but get this situated like this. Make sure those cables don't get crossed over. We don't want to cross no cables, you know what I mean? But like plenty of room here for the EPS. I love the access of this here with the case. You know what I mean? It just makes building easier because the AIO is more or less one of the last things that we'll be throwing in the case here, right? So we have this all set up. We got this going. That we're just kind of hanging out with this. We still have a little bit of cable management to kind of manage per se. Wow. But other than that, I mean, it really does kind of hide and fill in a good little bit. Now, coming around to the backside, while it's still looking sloppy, you know what I mean? Like stuff like this, this is an easy, we can't do that stuff. So we got to make sure that we're not crossing any streams here. Oh, this is it. I didn't see that there was another tie. What is it? So does this, wait, oh, there is like a thing there. Nah, I don't like the, I'm not a bread tie guy. Not a big fan of the bread ties. And don't forget too, where are they? We do still have some really cool Thermaltake Velcro slides, and then we got some tweezers in here too, right? So, and it's in a nice little resealable bag. Nice little, well, actually, it's not a resealable bag. Sorry, it's one of those kind of, you know. Does anybody use these things like for their food? Like they have that machine that seals the food, like that's supposed to seal it again. You know, the heat seal. Do those work? Do those actually work, or is it just like you seal it in the bag and it still goes just as bad as a Ziploc? You know what I mean? I don't know. I never had one, so I'm you know, arrogant on it. But yeah, like a lot of this back here, there's a good amount of cleanup, you know, with the cables, but I'm really going to try to maximize this gap that's in here to kind of lay the cables out to get a nice flat run on as much as I possibly can, right? So I can get some nice flat runs like this and then be able to take this whole thing and then just kind of tuck it in there. And I'm just going to have to see what I'm going to be able to do with this. I mean, yeah, you can usually take this sometimes, fold it up underneath here. I like to hide a lot of stuff behind the 24 pin. I know you do too, but then stuff like that, as far as like, you know, where you're going to get to with an end result should be pretty good. And you know, I know like with a case like this, a lot of stuff where, you know, am I going to be able to put that panel back on? Is it going to give me a fat belly back here? So I think that will be some stuff that we'll save for next week as far as what we got going on with our fun little build here. I mean, it's a very different case that has a lot of unique features. And I know it takes a good amount of time to talk about, but again, that's why I'm here. You know, if you want me to rush a build through, I mean, I could and not talk about as many things and just kind of put some stuff together, but I'm in no rush. I hope you're not either. But we got the AIO to put in and the graphics card. And I mean, the AIO for the most part is ready to go. I mean, it's just putting the bracket and the AIO all at the same time. And I think that goes pretty quick. Same with the graphics card. I might mount this up to just test and make sure everything's all good to go for next week. Get an OS on this, and maybe we can have some fun with the case. Maybe play some games or something, you know, just kind of sit back and relax. So let's enjoy the rest of our build here with this one. But you guys enjoy, you know, the rest of your week. You know what I mean? It's only Wednesday. It's only Wednesday. But I think, dude, the power supply mounting really takes away a lot of the thickness that the case would more or less have, because where else are you going to put it, right? And then the AIO, even though it's a 360, it looks like it's going to fit in there pretty well, but we have to look at that swoop and how it's going to loop itself in there. And what options do we give you to try to make it look good? You know, because you're going to have the tubes on the backside versus the front side. So these are things I feel that are important to kind of bring up and kind of mention with you guys, walk you through this kind of stuff, so that way you have something to go back on for reference, or like, how did he do that? Or like, oh, is there even a video out for this kind of a thing, right? So again, we appreciate you guys being over on both Twitch and on YouTube for the live streams, you guys. External PSU. Exactly. I mean, like, you know, how much zip ties you need to obtain completely clean look behind without possibly too close to the back panel. I think a lot of times the funny thing that I always hear is that you can only use the amount of zip ties that come with the case, right? You can't have that big bag of 1,000 zip ties and be like, I am the cable master. You know what I mean? Because as a manufacturer, that's a takeaway for us that, hey, did we not give you enough, one, stuff to mount with, or two, just the mount itself on the case? Like, do we even have a little tab or a little thingy sticking out so that you can loop something around, right? So I think a lot of times with cases like this where they're small and compact, but yet you're trying to smash in as much as you can, you got to be a little bit more particular with your cable management. So I think that will be a better talk for next week, as well as the AIO, GPU, all that. Maybe we'll even get the fog machine out too, because I think it'd be kind of interesting to see what the fog machine's like with the vented panel and everything. Granted, we're not going to see too much, so I'm not sure what I want to do with it, but maybe we'll have some fun and play around with it. You know what I mean? Will we ever get a water-cooled PSU from TT? Absolutely not. If there is one thing that I would absolutely say no to, it's water-cooled power. Your power supply doesn't need it. Yeah, it looks cool. Yeah, it's been done. But, like, I got to be honest with you, newer power supplies, let me tell you something. They run a lot cooler than your old power supply from 5-6 years ago. It's a big difference. Big difference. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Wireless power? Yeah, see, I would think wireless power would come before water power, but water and power doesn't mix very well. Granted, we like to ride the line here. You know what I mean? I like to ride the line. There are vacuum chambers with heat seals out there. Yeah, but not for food. Because I was just the vacuum seal. Oh, okay, the ones that suck the air out and then seal it, right? Where it's like I do that with Ziplocs, right? You just kind of close it and go, and then you close it really quick. I do that. Sometimes I just like to flatten it out and then just do it. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. It is what it is. All right. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for being here on another wonderful Wednesday. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Let's be honest. It's always fun to break up the week. Hope I broke up your week there. You guys working hard. You got a long week ahead. Don't worry, we're halfway there, guys. The weekend is getting closer and closer. All right? You guys have a good one. We appreciate you guys being here, of course, as always. We'll see you next time. ThermalMike out.